The following program is a paid presentation from the California Elder Law Center. The information and opinions expressed herein are solely those of the California Elder Law Center and are not the opinions of K-News, Alpha Media, management, or employees.
Hello and welcome to Elder Answers. This is the show where we get together every week and we discuss the major issues facing seniors in the United States today. Hi everybody, this is Michael McGuire, elder law attorney with the California Elder Law Center, where for over 25 years we have been serving the needs of seniors and the families of seniors, trying to deal with the issues of estate planning, effective estate planning, and elder law, a process whereby we are constantly trying to achieve a goal for our clients and they for themselves and their families to get the quality of care that they need and deserve and not go broke doing it. You know, the cost of care can cover a wide range of different issues. A lot of us think about, of course, medical care. Well, medical care for seniors is pretty much addressed by Medicare in the United States, although that's gotten to be a bit of a struggle. It's not so much the struggle as far as the cost as that for the hospital or the rehab unit to even provide the care for you. There are economic imperatives in the system now that are really not designed for you. They're more designed for the provider. And you don't want to be caught in a situation in which the provider is gaming the system in order for their advantage and leaving your care out on the curb. So you need to be cognizant of how that process works, and that's what we've been doing for many years in trying to support families as they go through this process, because it can become pretty overwhelming if you want to know the truth. The reality of care takes us, as I said, on a continuum. How do we pay for care at home? It averages $28 an hour in Southern California. That's an hour, $28 an hour, well over $100 a day. If it was an 8-hour shift, and if you had 5 days in the week, the other 2 days, you're just going to have to scramble as a family to figure out how to pay it. But now you're up to a couple, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month. That's very, very expensive, and it's hard to find quality care unless you're dealing with individuals that have been recommended to you or are responsive to the needs of others, professionals that are helping you. The next level of care that we're always confronted with is maybe having to change the venue of where we live based upon our age. You know, this is not a bad thing, it's just a thing. And so an individual may opt to move from their home, which is becoming a little bit untenable as far as taking care of it, or even having the necessity of having a home and moving into a protected environment like independent living. There's some beautiful ones out here in the Coachella Valley that are available. Of course, everything has a price tag to it. But the reality is that if you were a veteran during a period of war in the United States, and that would be World War II, Korea, Vietnam, or the Gulf, you may have access to some benefits worth as much as $2,200 a month that might help pay for, defray the cost of that care. And in fact, that $2,200 could be available to you for care in your home if you're a veteran. Amazingly enough, that particular benefit through the Veterans Administration, just for those wartime veterans, also includes their spouses. Their spouses can get access to funding up to $1,200, $1,300 a month. And so now you're starting to see that there are different programs that are out there that you might want to be aware of. And you very much want to be aware of what the rules are, because the rules are going to determine whether or not you're going to be able to access those funds. You know, many times when an individual migrates from independent living or into assisted living, or maybe something like a board and care or a memory care unit, then their family is charged with coming up with the idea how we're going to pay it. And believe me, it causes a lot of stress in a family. And so if you have a little bit of thought put into this ahead of time, you might have the opportunity to get access to that money a lot faster. And of course, the one everybody's really, really worried about, that everybody frankly should be worried about, is that the recently published cost for 1 month in a nursing home in the state of California. The published figure that comes from the Department of Health Care Services up in Sacramento is the average cost for 1 month in a nursing home in the state of California now has reached $10,298 per month. You heard that right. $10,298 per month. Now, that's a number that gets everybody's attention. You wouldn't have to spend too much time in a nursing home to suffer the consequences of financial disaster for most middle-class families if you're writing a check for over $2,000 or $10,000 every month to take care of your spouse, take care of your husband, your wife, perhaps to be taking care of your mother, your father, perhaps coming up short, and you and your brother, your sister, other siblings are trying to figure out how we all going to contribute to pay for that level of care. How do we do that? Where's the money going to come from? Are all of the siblings in a position to be able to afford to do that? Is that going to work as a family? And so you can see that these kinds of issues really drive us to want to think about what are the alternatives to sitting down and writing $10,000 checks every month if fate takes us into a nursing home in California. The same conversation takes place if we're trying to figure out how we're going to come up with $5,000, $6,000 a month to pay for care at home or in an assisted living or in a memory care unit. So the expense issue becomes a critically important one because it delivers a burden on our loved ones that normally we don't have any desire to deliver to their doorstep, do we? And so what ends up happening is that people discover in crisis that perhaps there is an alternative to that. Perhaps they will be able to find a facility or they'll be able to find a service provider of some kind that can steer them in the right direction about what they can do in the way of public benefit. You should be aware of the fact that if you're talking about a nursing home, there's two different rates as far as compensation to the nursing home are concerned. There is the private pay rate. That's the retail rate. That's what you pay. You pay the $10,000. That is not what Medi-Cal pays. Medi-Cal does not pay retail. Medi-Cal pays wholesale, and for good cause, because they are paying for about 68% of everybody in a nursing home in the state of California. That's a national figure, by the way. 68% of everybody in nursing homes are on public benefits. And why? It's not because they gamed the system. It's not because they were so clever to take care of stuff ahead of time. No. They went broke. They are now destitute, and there's no choice. But the lower compensation rate to the nursing home, and when the nursing home tells you, don't worry, we'll take care of that, they will take care of that after you have dissipated all of your income and assets due to the cost of being in the nursing home. So once your life savings has melted away at the $10,000 rate, then and only then are they interested in helping you get Medi-Cal. And the reason, of course, they want you to get Medi-Cal is because outside of Medi-Cal, there's no other way for you to pay for it. And so the reality of this system is that those people who address these issues ahead of time have far better outcomes. Now, they have a better outcome financially because they have addressed the issue ahead of time. They have a better outcome emotionally because they're not living with anxiety. What they're living with is expectation and being prepared, which puts them in a much stronger emotional position. They know that they're not going to devastate and financially destroy their sibling or their family member or their mother or their father or their daughter or their son. And they are in a situation that once they have an understanding of how the system works, they begin to come to the realization that the quality of their care can be upgraded. They can get a much higher level of quality of care, even in an institution, if they have prepared and addressed the issue ahead of time. Many people rely upon long-term care insurance. Unfortunately, not enough people rely upon long-term care insurance. And the problem with long-term care insurance is one that the public has established in their own mind, and that's that it's too expensive. Now, what's relative to too expensive or not too expensive is a business decision. But when you're looking at some of the charges that are being made by long-term care insurance carriers, you can understand why that may not be a typical solution for a lot of families. Now, what you should understand is years ago, there were like 110, 112 long-term care insurance companies in the United States that you could choose from. Today, there's about a dozen. And the reason for it is they've gone broke. And the reason that they have gone broke on this stuff is twofold. One is they set their rates too low to compensate for the fact that you as a senior in the United States today live much longer. You are living longer, but you are living longer into harm's way and you need care. So the claims have come in, and while the claims have come in for a greater number of insured seniors, the cost of the care has exploded. When I first started doing this kind of work 25 years ago, the cost of care was $2,400 a month on average. Now it's over $10,000 a month. And so I don't believe anybody thinks for a minute that the cost of care is going to go down in a nursing home in the United States. It's only going to continue to grow and escalate. So the choice becomes, are you willing, do you think there's any benefit to you or to your family to address this issue ahead of time? Are you concerned about the quality of care? Are you the kind of a person you would just as soon wait until you're in crisis? Because that poses a whole different series of problems for your family to be able to help you. Even worse, that has been badly exacerbated with this pandemic. And the reason for it is these places are in lockdown. So families have relatives inside these places. They're trapped. They can't get in to see them. They can't get the documents signed. They're really, really in a bad spot. And now you can't do anything except pay the tab. You can't access the benefits because you can't get the documents signed because you can't get control of the situation. And had you only done a little bit of planning, had you sat down with an elder law attorney that understands how these systems work, then you would have been in a situation in which you, your family, your spouse, could A, be protected, and B, they would not be subjected to the burden of trying to figure this all out. But, that's the reason why you buy insurance in the first place. That's the reason why you have insurance in the first place. You don't go out and get fire insurance the day your house burns down. You're probably well advised to do it the day before your house burns down. So those are the kind of issues you're going to have to address if you want to have a good quality outcome. And you need to be sitting talking to somebody that knows how this system works, both for the benefit of you and for your family.
Attorney Mick McGuire is now providing teleconferences. Find out more about how you can take part by visiting cal-elder-law.com. That's www.cal-elder-law.com. Or email Mick McGuire directly at info.calelderlaw@gmail.com.
As a result of the corona crisis, the California Elder Law Center must immediately cancel all free in-person workshops. However, you realize your need for information will not stop. The California Elder Law Center is making arrangements for alternative sources of information. We are beginning a series of teleconferences, videos, and complimentary forms to help you protect yourselves and your loved ones. Avoid the expenses and delays of probate. Access long-term care benefits through the VA and Medi-Cal, protecting your home and your assets. For full details and information, please call 760-422-0404. That's 422-0404. Or go to our website, www.cal-elder-law.com. That's www.cal-elder-law.com. Or send an email to info@calelderlaw@gmail.com. info@calelderlaw.com. This is Michael McGuire, elder law attorney with the California Elder Law Center. For 25 years, we have been serving the needs of families all up and down California, but primarily here in Southern California. And we've handled literally maybe 1,000 cases. I don't know. The numbers over the years just cloud out, and you just go on to the next one because of how important it is at the time. You see, there's always a sense of urgency. We're always in an urgent mode to help one of our clients, the family of one of our clients. And, it sort of goes back to when they talk to seniors all the time about what's important to them, the seniors all say the same thing. It's quite interesting. They always say the same thing in the same sequence. the number one thing that seniors say is important to them, when I say a senior, somebody over the age of 65, what they say is that they want to stay at home. They don't want to be institutionalized, which is interesting, isn't it? Because everybody wants the comfort of their home. They want to know they're safe in their home. But sometimes fate just won't let that be the case. Fate won't be able to control that situation. We had a client here not so long ago that the 87-year-old lady, who is a very strong-willed individual, very independent lady, but began to develop dementia. And the dementia was becoming more and more intense, but in trying to get her to the doctor, the neurologist, they went through this great big long HMO dance about, no, I will refer you to a neurologist. You will go there. The neurologist will send the paper back to me, and then we'll take care of it, except I can't get in to see the neurologist for a month, 2 months, 3 months, and it just goes on and on and on. And so in this particular case, this woman's condition was deteriorating. Now, the more it deteriorated, the more she resisted going to see the neurologist. I don't have anything wrong with my memory. I'm fine with my memory. Everything's okay. I can do just fine. Thank you very much. Well, of course, she couldn't. And this whole case just was spinning out of control. It culminated in a situation in which her daughter came and was staying with her to protect her. And every morning, this lady would get up and she would make herself a pot of coffee and go into the kitchen very early in the morning. And that's exactly what she did on this particular morning. And after she had been in the kitchen for a while and her daughter didn't hear anything or called out to her a few times, she went into the kitchen and discovered, she was gone and the back door through the kitchen was open. She raced out into the yard. Her mother was gone. She raced out into the street. She panicked. No mother. She ran down to the end of the block and looked out. Nothing. She ran in the other direction. Breathless, she ran back into the house, of course, and called the police. 4 squad cars spent the next 3 hours looking for her. And where did they find her? They found her. She had walked along the road. Now she's in her house coat, if you will. She had walked along the road. She was looking for something apparently in a field that she thought was part and parcel of her past. And she kept recurring to this issue, and that something was out there that she had to get. And she was walking along the road. She tripped on the berm on the side of the road and rolled down into a ditch. She lay there for almost 4 hours before the police found her. Now, they rushed her to the hospital, and they discovered she had shattered her shoulder. Her shoulder was broken in 5 different places. To make this even worse, of course, is given her age and her condition, is the ability to control this situation had spun out of control completely. The break in the shoulder is close to the cervical area and doesn't lend itself to surgery. And as a direct result, the hospital wanted to send this woman with the shattered shoulder back home in 24 hours the next day. It was obvious that she couldn't go home. She needed care. And so as time went on, the surgeons were coming in, and not the neurologist never showed up. There was no neurologist, wouldn't answer the phone. The daughter was distraught. The weekend came, nothing. And what was going on here was there was this tug of war, this battle about who's going to pay for the care and how we're going to get it. Now, they decided finally, they said, okay, here's a list of rehab centers. Call when you want and take her there. That's what they told the daughter. As if the daughter had the ability to understand and calculate which rehab center was better than others. So she actually did. She went home. She got on the computer. She started looking, because they rate every one of these places on the CMS Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services website, cms.gov. And so you can find every nursing home, every rehab center is listed there, and they have like a 5-star, 4-star rating. The one they wanted to send her to was nice. It had like 3.5, 4 stars, not bad. The other one had 1.5 stars, had a horrible track record, all kind of violations. But they said, well, maybe you can get her in there. So she called both of those places, and here's what she ran into. A, your mother has Alzheimer's disease or dementia. She's a wanderer. We don't take anybody like that. We won't take her. B, even if we did, we're not going to take her because we're sealed off. We don't take new people. Why? Well, because of coronavirus. Well, what is she supposed to do? And by the way, the hospital was giving this woman with the shattered shoulder Tylenol. You got this right. And so the system spins out of control. Who do you turn to? How do you get in control of this stuff? And so you need resources, and that's what elder law offices do all up and down the state. They accumulate resources, they have expertise to be able to assist in this process so you've got some idea of where you're going and why. But, this story is sort of interesting because go back a minute ago. We were saying that what's the number one reason that people want to protect themselves from? What's the most important thing to them? They want to stay at home. They want to stay at home. Now, you have to pay for the care at home. Unless you're a vet, you might be able to get like $26,000, $27,000 tax-free money to help you pay for your care at home. You have to know about it. You have to understand it. You have to understand the rules to get the money. And so this process that you're going through here, trying to accomplish about what you want, ends up looking like this. If the number one thing that people want is to stay in their home when they're seniors, then how do you explain that 80% of all seniors in the United States die in an institution? They don't die at home. They don't die peacefully surrounded by their loved ones. They die in a hospital. They die in a nursing home somewhere. They die somewhere else besides the sanctity of their own home. Mostly because they didn't take care of business, if you want to know the truth. They didn't get long-term care insurance. They didn't find out about their benefits until it was too late. And they discovered if you were a vet and you want that $26,000, you had to have done something a few years ago to get it. You had to have prepared for that. You didn't realize that you had to be empowered to do all the things that are necessary to get the state of California to divvy up the $10,000 a month to pay for the care in the nursing home. It's too late now. The documents don't hold up. The documents weren't done in the world of public benefits effectively. Yes, they kept you out of probate. Maybe. But yes, if you went to an attorney that did estate planning, I can assure you those documents are going to work to keep you out of probate. I can also assure you if you've opted to go onto a website somewhere and do your own documents because they're cheap, you better think twice about what you got. You better be really, really careful about what you got. And you may want to spend the time and maybe a couple bucks to have somebody review that to make sure you're okay. Because you make a mistake here, you've stepped on a banana peel way bigger than what you ever imagined. Now, I know everybody's got this thing about, well, I don't want to pay the attorney. I get it. And there's a worse thing going on now. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry that's an attorney who wants to call themselves an elder law attorney just does that. They just call themselves an elder law attorney. Is that accurate? Is that somebody that can actually handle these cases? You might want to be aware of the fact that the application for Medi-Cal long-term care now is 29 pages. You heard that right. It's 29 pages. Are you sure that attorney knows how to do that? Isn't that what you hired him for? Or her? Just calling themselves an elder law attorney is not being an elder law attorney. You might want to ask them a couple of questions and make sure they can handle this stuff. Can they make sure you can at least have a shot at staying at home? Can they help you avoid going broke? The number two big reason that people are worried about as seniors. I don't want to go broke. I don't want to be a bag lady. I don't want my wife to go broke because I spent all the family money getting my care. The third thing is I don't want to be a burden on my kids. Well, how in the world are you going to accomplish all that if you're not having advice and protection coming from a law firm that specializes in this stuff? Ask them, have you ever filled out a Medi-Cal application? Ask them. Have you ever actually done a VA application and moved it all the way through the system to the point where somebody got some money? If they haven't done any of that stuff, then they can call themselves anything they want. They're not an elder law attorney. That's not an elder law attorney. Are they a member of the National Academy of Elder Law Attorneys? Well, that's a start. NAELA.org, but that's not the end all. Anybody can join. Anybody can join. Have they actually done a case? I get calls from attorneys who are calling themselves elder law attorneys asking me, how does that VA thing work? Well, you didn't take money from them to do that, did you? So the issue is you want to be prepared. You want to have somebody steering the boat that knows how to steer a boat. And that's the only way you're going to be able to be assured that you're going to get the quality of care you need. That's the only way you're going to be able to be assured that you're not going to go broke. And you have to sit down with somebody who's done this before. Now, you can give our office a call, 760-422-0404. 760-422-0404. We are in the process of creating webinars for you, yes, through Zoom, some through Skype, that will allow you the opportunity to sit in on one of our workshops. Our workshops are free. We don't hide the ball as far as anything is concerned. We have always had a philosophy at the California Elder Law Center. We will tell you everything. We'll tell you what to do and how to do it and why you would do it. And that will be your information gift from our firm. And then from that point forward, you can make up your own mind. Do you want somebody that's never done one of these cases to be your guide through this process, or do you want to talk to a pro when the time comes? Because, man, you're going to need a pro.
Attorney Mick McGuire is now providing teleconferences. Find out more about how you can take part by visiting cal-elder-law.com. That's www.cal-elder-law.com. Or email Mick McGuire directly at info.calelderlaw@gmail.com.
As a result of the corona crisis, the California Elder Law Center must immediately cancel all free in-person workshops. However, you realize your need for information will not stop. The California Elder Law Center is making arrangements for alternative sources of information. We are beginning a series of teleconferences, videos, and complimentary forms to help you protect yourselves and your loved ones. Avoid the expenses and delays of probate. Access long-term care benefits through the VA and Medi-Cal, protecting your home and your assets. For full details and information, please call 760-422-0404. That's 422-0404. Or go to our website, www.cal-elder-law.com. That's www.cal-elder-law.com. Or send an email to info.calelderlaw@gmail.com. info@calelderlaw.com. So this is Michael McGuire at the California Elder Law Center. And what we're talking about is if you need to access public benefits to support you through the process of dealing with the continuum of care, whether you need care at home, whether you need care in an independent living or an assisted living, or in a board and care or a memory care, or if, God forbid, you need to go from the hospital to the rehab center over to long-term care in a nursing home, and who's going to pay for that $10,000 a month bill, then you need to be thinking about who you are going to be reaching out to help you. When's the best time to address these issues? As is always the case, when's the best time to buy a fire extinguisher? Well, I'd say before you smell smoke. When's the best time to deal with issues that are like, my car's making a terrible noise or the engine light's coming on? You want to wait until you stop dead in traffic on the freeway and figure out what's going on? I don't think so. When's the best time to hook up your seatbelt? When's the best time to put your granddaughter or your grandson in a car seat and safe and buckle them up? Before the accident or after? What do you think? So the proposition for this stuff is that you should probably get yourself educated, and that's what we do. Now, we used to always do our workshops for you for free. We go from soup to nuts. How does probate work? What is probate? What is it? If you did have a trust, why did I even get a trust? I don't even remember why I got a trust. I don't even remember what it says. We'll go through all that. The next thing we would talk about is if your documents are not going to be in a position to help you with the issue of VA benefits for care at home or Medi-Cal benefits to be in a nursing home, then what do you need to do to fix those documents? Because you can fix them. There's ways to fix them. And that now you can have ironclad stuff that actually works when the time comes. When I say works, it means it empowers everybody, you for your wife for you, your kids, maybe even your grandkids, to be able to step up and take care of business. That's a big, big issue. And it's getting bigger every day in California, believe me. And the last thing that you want is, can you give us some kind of an insight about what the rules are for the VA? What are the rules for Medi-Cal? How does this work? What have I got to do now ahead of time in order to protect myself, to protect my spouse, and to protect my family, not be a burden on them? And then once I have that information in hand, now I'm forearmed. Now I can make a decision about, what do I want to do here? Do I want to move forward? Do I want to think about it for a while? Do I want to call my buddy and play golf with and ask him what he thinks? And unbelievably, people do. And so the idea here is that it gives you an opportunity to A, evaluate what you already have in the way of documents, B, determine who do I want to lean on now. This is a different phase of my life. You know, most of those documents you picked up online would barely answer the question, what happens if I die? If you go to an estate planning attorney, they will do it in depth. They will answer the question, what happens if I die? As will the elder law attorneys. They'll answer that question too, and be prepared. And they'll teach you how to protect your family. You may need to protect an adult child. You may need to protect them because they're on public benefits or they're challenged in some way, and their situation is scary, and you need to know that they're going to be okay for the rest of their lives. You can do that, but you need to go to a professional to do that kind of stuff. And then you may want to know, what exactly do I have to do to get these long-term care benefits? I'm not in a position to be able to swallow $10,000 a month. I'm not in a position to pay $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month to an assisted living facility. I can't do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go broke. When it comes to the assisted living, if I've used up all my money, we had a lady. This was not that long ago. She went into the nursing home, the rehab. They sent the rehab has the same name as the assisted living. They sent her over to the assisted living facility, and then they added on all these additional services for her so that she could be in the assisted living. And the woman got tangled up with a financial guy, and she met an attorney that I take that back. She never met the attorney. The attorney is in a different city, 200-300 miles away, threw some paperwork together, threw it at her, did the paperwork. Nobody ever signed it. Just a waste of time and money, because the financial guy and the attorney were hooked up together. And then what ended up happening? They were charging her $13,000 a month to be in an assisted living because of all the extra services this lady needed. And yes, she went through $395,000, and she was dead bang broke, and her daughter showed up and said, "What do I do?" And I said, light a candle. Light a candle. Say a prayer. There's no getting back here. Had you taken care of this from day one, had she taken care of it before it ever happened to her, the mother, none of that would have happened. They'd have had the money. They'd have had the protection. They'd have had the quality of the care. You need to think about this stuff. At least educate yourself to the fact that this can be done. It can be done. It's very effective. They can never put a lien on your house. You can keep your IRA. There's lots of different things that you can do that you don't know about that are buried in that 29-page application that you are, trust me, going to need some help with. So the process we always had was that we would have free seminars. You could come to the workshop. We would go through this as an educational kind of a thing. It was a workshop. It wasn't a seminar. Nobody's selling anything. There's nothing to be sold. We educate you. If you think we're qualified to take care of it, you'll give us a call. We'll give you a free consultation. You can come in, tell us your story, bring us your old documents, and we'll review everything. We want you to fill out a questionnaire so we know where this conversation is going to go, because it gets down to, when you think about it, it gets down to assets and income. That's what's going to determine whether or not you're going to get $26,000 a year tax-free from the VA, or whether you're going to get $120,000 a year tax-free from Medi-Cal. And so when we're going through one of these workshops, we're giving you all this information, we're giving you written material, and we're helping you out. Now, you call 760-422-0404, 422-0404. Now, we would set these things up. We used to set them up over at the Hampton Inn. We can't do that anymore. Not right now. Maybe later, but not right now. I'm missing dreadfully the experience of being able to meet you personally, shake your hand, share a couple jokes with you maybe, and get a little bit of feel for who you are and who I am. We can't do that just yet. So what we're going to be doing, of course, are the webinars. You'll be doing it, and you give us a call. We'll tell you when the next one is and what information we need from you to sign up, and we'll send you the password. So you do need to get on a computer or have somebody set it up for you. And for those of you who just can't handle that, call us up and tell us what the issues are, what the problem is, and let's see if we can help you. We've always been open to helping the community to deal with this information. We do a lot of what they call pro bono work for people, maybe 3-4 cases a month. But it has to be within our field of expertise, and that's why we want that questionnaire from you ahead of time. And if you have documents, bring them along, and we'll get it taken care of. We'll figure it out for you. 760-422-0404. Now, I have sat in on some of these Zoom meetings. I sat in one yesterday for the elder law attorneys, and I can tell you they need to practice. They need to get it right. We are going to have somebody who is going to be providing us with the service to design the webinar for you. It's easy, that works, and when I say it works, all you have to do is sit there and enjoy yourself, and we will be able to give you the information in a way that's at least more effective than you trying to read it somewhere or find out through a neighbor or something like that. Or even worse, to talk to somebody who is either imitating an attorney by providing these dreadful online document services that do not allow them to, of course, practice law and advise you, but just to throw some documents at you, bare bone documents. That's what you're going to get because that's what you paid for. Or people who revel in the idea that don't pay the attorney's fees. Any person with a computer and a software program can do this, except for the day you find out they can't. Like the one that I had here recently, in which a guy died. He was single. He had no children. He had a brother and a sister. His entire estate, which, by the way, is close to $1 million, was supposed to go to them. And then he had 8 nieces and nephews. And the people that did this, you don't need the attorney stuff, as it turned out, they gave all the money to the nieces and nephews and didn't leave anything to the brothers and sisters. It was too late. That's what it says. That's what's going to happen. Everybody's up in arms. And so some of the kids say, yeah, Mom, I'll give it back to you. And the other kids say, don't call me again. Just send me my check. If that's your idea of a good estate plan, you go right ahead. But wouldn't it be great if you could get a inexpensive estate plan based upon your circumstances that is pretty much in that same price range, but done by somebody who's not just throwing together and doing estate planning stuff and telling you about probate, but is also telling you about Medi-Cal and VA too. And empowers you to do those kinds of things. That's what you want. That's what you deserve. It's not for everybody to spend a lot of money on an estate plan, but it is for everybody to protect themselves and their families. 760-422-0404. If you call and you got to leave a message, do us a favor. Spell your name, would you? I mean, if your name is Tom Cruise or Clark Gable or Rita Hayworth, we'll probably figure out what your name is. If your name is Vigor Stapuchki from Azerbaijan, believe me, it doesn't work on the phone for you just to say it and not spell it. So 760-422-0404, 422-0404. Help is on the way. It's available to you, and it's free. And believe me, if you get into this stuff, if you get into this mix, you're going to need help. The new application for Medi-Cal is 29 pages long. I mean, that's almost designed on purpose to make sure you can't get into the system. And the people at the nursing homes who claim they're going to help you, believe me, they're not there to help you. They're there to work for the nursing home and make sure they get paid the most amount of money per bed per month, period, end of story.
Attorney Mick McGuire is now providing teleconferences. Find out more about how you can take part by visiting cal-elder-law.com. That's www.cal-elder-law.com. Or email Mick McGuire directly at info.calelderlaw@gmail.com.
As a result of the corona crisis, the California Elder Law Center must immediately cancel all free in-person workshops. However, you realize your need for information will not stop. The California Elder Law Center is making arrangements for alternative sources of information. We are beginning a series of teleconferences, videos, and complimentary forms to help you protect yourselves and your loved ones. Avoid the expenses and delays of probate. Access long-term care benefits through the VA and Medi-Cal, protecting your home and your assets. For full details and information, please call 760-422-0404. That's 422-0404. Or go to our website, www.cal-elder-law.com. That's www.cal-elder-law.com. Or send an email to info.calelderlaw@gmail.com. info@calelderlaw.com. So this is Michael McGuire with the California Elder Law Center. Elder Law. I can't begin to emphasize this enough for you right now because they're sort of coming out of the woodwork. Why? Well, let's face it. The news is full of just heartbreaking stories every day about people trapped in nursing homes, suffering from COVID-19. The death rate among seniors is extraordinarily high compared to the rest of the population, probably because they're in that closed environment, that it's contaminated and continues to be contaminated based upon the business model of these facilities, in which people are paid very low wages, and as a result they have to do one shift in one place, go to over another place to make ends meet, so they're working 15 hours a day. And you go through this process and the disease is moving through that population. They're closed, circulation in the rooms are close, people are breathing on each other, yada, yada, yada. We all know the story. And so the reality is now everybody's coming out of the woodwork and they're trying to address the issues of elders. My position on this is you need expertise and resources to get through this. You need the expertise of people that are going to be care managers for you in your case. Either a nurse practitioner or somebody who is specialized in this field that can walk you through this system and keep track of what's going on for you to make sure that the quality of care you're getting is what you need and is appropriate, and to make sure you're getting everything you're entitled to. It's a dreadful, expensive mistake not to have quality help available to you when the time comes. You can protect yourself. If you have somebody with Alzheimer's or dementia, you have to be cognizant of the fact you have to take care of business ahead of time. You really, really do need to think about this now. The banks are not going to help you with this. The banks are atrocious in the way they're treating people, walking up with a bona fide, durable power of attorney and saying they were not going to honor it. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that or which bank, even though their initials are B of A. I'm not going to do that. What I am going to tell you is that you better be loaded ahead of time to protect yourself, because when the time comes, you need to be in control. You don't need to be running around town getting bumped around by clerks that don't know what the rules are, or their rules come from a different master. They don't have anything to do with you. They have everything to do with them. So you need to put a little thought into this. I get people all the time ask me, listen, I got long-term care insurance, and I just got the new bill. And the new bill, they're like doubling the rates. The monthly rate is going up, double what it was before. What should I do? Well, usually you have a choice. Now, you can bring that policy in and we'll sit down and go through it, but I will tell you, usually your choice is going to be if you can't afford the budget-busting expense of more health insurance premiums every month or long-term care premiums every month, maybe what you can do is reduce the amount of the benefit you're going to get. That's not a bad trade-off. That's not a bad trade-off because most of you have an inflation rider anyway, so it'll start to creep back up again, number one. Number two, something is better than nothing. Number three, you've been paying into that policy for a long, long time, and now you've got nothing to show for it if you just walk. You get nothing, and you deserve something. There are policies out there now for people that are younger age group that they can really think about doing some planning. You could even use IRA money to access long-term care benefits for yourself. So there's things out there. There are solutions out there, but you have to get the information, or else the ship is going to sail and leave you at the dock. And then you're going to go through the three most important things to seniors. Number one, if you recall, is I want to stay at home. Well, you're not going to be able to stay at home if you can't pay for the care. Two is I don't want to go broke. I don't want to turn my wife into a bag lady. I don't want my husband to drain off every nickel we have in this family. Well, if you don't take care of business and you don't access, if you're a veteran, $26,000 a year and some other benefits to help you at home, look out. It's not likely that you're going to avoid going broke. And I deal with this all the time. The widow is sitting there and has spent all the family money on her husband. Her income is going to drop because he's gone now. She never got the opportunity to build much of a retirement for herself. And even if she did, she used the money to take care of him. Now what does she do? She's got another 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years of life ahead of her. You know, a woman aged 80 in the United States has a life expectancy to a little bit over 90 years of age. She's got another 10 years. What is she going to do? Does she have to sell the house? Does she have to move? And if she sells the house, she'll have the money. Oh, yeah, okay, that's terrific, except for the fact that if she needs care, she'll have too much money. She's violated the rules if she didn't plan ahead. And then the last thing everybody's worried about is I'm going to be a burden on my family. Listen, driving your spouse into a life of poverty because you pulled the wrong disease card out of the deck is delivering a burden to that surviving spouse for the rest of their life. Your children are sucked into this concept, into this conversation, all because you didn't find out. I didn't say do anything, but you didn't find out what you could do. So the California Elder Law Center, myself, Michael McGuire, and our staff, here's the proposition to you. Pick up the phone and call 422-0404. 422-0404. Tell us what the deal is, what's going on. You prepare some paperwork for us and get it back so we can analyze it a little bit before we get on the phone with you, or if we schedule an appointment with you, or we get you into a webinar that'll go through the soup to nuts thing the way we used to do it in person over at the hotel, but now we're going to do it online. And we'll have videos that are going to be up on our website that deals with specific issues. But I need you to understand something. If you're sitting there in crisis with your spouse in a bed in a nursing home and you end up with a 29-page application, I'm going to make a bet you ain't going to come out too good on that deal. I'll make you another bet. There is no guarantee that the person sitting across the desk, and oh, by the way, you'll never meet the person across the desk at Medi-Cal, even knows what the rules are. Do you know how many times in the last 3 months, 4 months, we have had to go to their supervisors and give them the information so that they would do the right thing? I'll tell you how many times. 4 times, 2 counties. Unbelievable. They don't know what the rules are. Basic rules. Basic rules. You need an elder law attorney to do that. Which brings us to the third point. Who's an elder law attorney? Ask this person who's telling you they're an elder law attorney before you go tripping over to their office and write them a check. Have you ever done a Medi-Cal case? Have you ever filed for a fair hearing? Have you ever put together a fair hearing to protect one of your clients from Medi-Cal from the county? Have you ever done a VA application? Have you ever been trained in the VA application process? Do you have any idea what the current rules are for the VA? Then why am I spending my time talking to you? You are a what happens when I die person. I need a what happens when I live person who also, of course, has the skill sets to handle what happens when I die. There's two questions there. The two questions are what happens when I die, what happens when I live, and here's two other questions that you need to have the answers to, is that how am I going to get the care I need and pay for it? How am I going to do that? And here's another question for you better have an answer to is, who's going to take care of me? Who is going to take care of me? You need to know that. And so the reality of this stuff is that if you pick up the phone and you call 422-0404, 422-0404, you tell them, I heard that guy on the radio today. I want to get some information. I want to know when the next webinar is, or this is my problem. I've got a problem now today. Can you help me with this? And give us the information. We'll send you out a questionnaire. We can set something up for you. We've gone to great lengths to make our office as safe as possible. Our office building requires that you wear a mask to walk through the lobby. Our office requires that you are in a room that we have completely sanitized prior to the meeting. The minute you leave, we re-sanitize the room again for the next one. We have a plastic divider running down the middle of the table that protects us. It's clear. We can see each other. We can talk to each other. We can pass documents back and forth through a little slot underneath. But it's like the same thing that when you go into the bank, the clear plastic protector. So we've done all that. We've made that commitment to you to keep you safe, to keep us safe. But now you need to be cognizant of what it's going to take for you to protect yourselves. It's a very unfortunate situation. Doing the online stuff cheap is not a good idea right now. It's never been a good idea if you want to know the truth. But we have made arrangements that we can get you in on a bargain basis that you can get started. Not everybody has a $400,000, $800,000 house. I get it. Not everybody has $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 sitting in a bank. I get it. So we have a way to accommodate you and protect you if you're modest as far as your assets are concerned. We have a way to protect you if you need long-term care benefits down the road. We have a way to protect you if the situation spins out of control, not because you wanted it, but you're like the lady who went off and wandered and fell in a ditch and broke herself up, and the hospital's looking at her like, what are you doing here? You need to have somebody in your corner. We have nurse practitioners that can get in touch with you and take over your case. And if you don't have anybody out here, if you're alone, if you're worried about how it's going to work, we can do those kinds of things for you. But you need to give some thought to spending the time to educate yourself. 760-422-0404 starts you down the road towards getting care that's affordable, upgrading the quality of the care you're going to get, and protecting you, protecting your family, protecting your spouse. It's a simple proposition, but it requires you to take that initial step. So until next time, this is Michael McGuire with the California Elder Law Center saying thank you, and I'll see you soon.
The preceding program was a paid presentation from the California Elder Law Center. The information and opinions expressed herein are solely those of the California Elder Law Center and not the opinions of KNews, Alpha Media, management, or employees.